Welcome back to California Live. Since it was first published in 1960, To Kill a Mockingbird has been hailed by critics, banned by schools, and awarded the Pulitzer Prize. Now it's been adapted by Aaron Sorkin into a thought-provoking stage play starring Richard Thomas, whom we all remember as John Boy on The Waltons. Friend of the show, Blanche Shaheen, got to speak with both men at a San Francisco library.
I'm here in the San Francisco Public Library, where San Francisco Mayor London Breed, along with the San Francisco School District and the library, are teaming up with Broadway SF to promote arts and literacy. Now, they're doing this by giving out many copies of Harper Lee's beloved novel, To Kill a Mockingbird, as well as show tickets to students. And if by chance you don't know the story, the novel centers on the trial of Tom Robinson, a black man in 1930s Alabama who was wrongly accused of rape, as well as a focus on Robinson's lawyer named Atticus Finch. And we got a chance to interview Emmy Award-winning actor Richard Thomas, who plays Atticus Finch, as well as Academy Award winner Aaron Sorkin. Well, for many, you don't really need an introduction for people that have followed the trajectory of your career, and here you are, Richard Thomas, and in San Francisco. Can you tell me about first this event, this marvelous event where they're giving out books to students for To Kill a Mockingbird?
Well, I just think it's a wonderful thing to have done. First of all, I just want to say how thrilled I am to be in San Francisco. You know, when you read a tour route and you see San Francisco on the route, you go, yes, I'm going to San Francisco, and I can't wait to do this show for the audiences here. But it's wonderful that we have the opportunity to actually appear and to do this in a library, and to talk about the importance of disseminating stories like this. When people are in middle school or early high school, they're beginning to form their own sense of themselves in a civil society, their social sense of where they are socially, and a sense of social justice, and so it has a great impact at that age.
Sorkin's interpretation of Atticus Finch is slightly different than the book. Can you talk about that?
Yes, of course. It's one of the great gifts that Aaron has given the player who gets to play Atticus. So what Aaron has really done is taken Atticus down off the pedestal and given him a wonderfully vulnerable story of his own, in line, of course, with the original material, totally, you know, faithful to the spirit of the novel. But I think he's made him a more approachable character, a more flawed character, a man who has a lot to learn about himself as the play goes on. And so for an actor, this is very rich.
Well, you've played so many prolific roles throughout your career. You've got Nathan in Ozarks, and of course John Boy in The Waltons, everything in between. How would you rate this particular role in your life?
I have to say it's one of my favorite roles I've ever played.
Yeah, well, if people listening to you aren't excited about seeing this, I don't know, they're asleep. What was it like to adapt the book to a play and give it your own personal touch?
Well, it's terrifying. It was scary. This is such a popular book.
Yeah.
It's especially a big part of people's childhoods. I thought, you know, this is a suicide mission. What can I do but make this less than what it was?
Right.
And it turned out that didn't happen. Thanks in large part to the cast and to our director, Bartlett Sher.
Well, speaking of cast, Melanie, you play the role of Scout. Now, Scout is a very complex role. What did you think about playing this particular character?
Well, I'm thrilled that I get to be able to play this character. I have such a privilege that Aaron has given whoever gets to play Scout in this adaptation, because we are able to be Scout at different ages, which means I had the immense thrill of getting to imagine who she would be at older points, and how these events that our play has centered around shaped her and in her adult life. I also am very lucky to get to do the play with Mary Badham, who played Scout in the movie. So we have 2 Scouts for the price of 1 ticket.
Why did you pick this book in particular? Why was this important to you?
I did. I was I was picked.
I love your honesty. You were picked.
There's a producer that I've worked with a bunch of times, and he called me and he said, I've got some exciting news. After several years of trying, I've secured the Broadway stage rights to Kill a Mockingbird, and Harper Lee, who was alive at the time, she passed away a few years ago. Harper Lee has approved you and I thought, well, I can't say no to Harper Lee.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this, and this will be how I die.
How would you say you modernize this book for today's times?
Well, as I was saying at the press conference, it wasn't a matter of modernizing it for today's times. It was a matter of not pretending that I was writing it in 1959,
right.
And not pretending that I was Harper Lee, not trying to do a Harper Lee impersonation.
You don't want to miss this captivating show, and it's here till October 9th. Now, for more information, go to BroadwaySF.com for tickets.
All right, thanks, Blanche. And that is one of my favorite books of all time. And coming